Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, thanks to the organizers for this wonderful event. Uh, we have the hardest slot. After lunch, people are generally sleepy after the extremely well prepared, well laid out lunch. Uh, so please bear with us. We have some very interesting people who will talk through their experiences, and we'd like to make it interactive. So, what I will do is we will have some questions for all the panelists here. They will speak about their experiences, they'll introduce themselves, and they'll have some questions. We will keep the last 15 minutes. We are hoping that you will ask some questions and learn from or glean some of the huge experience that each of them carries. So, if you are settling down, I'll still start because we are anyway running pretty late and we want to hear from the panelists here. So, the topic for today is smart connectivity for smarter decisions, Industry 5.0, as our introducer told that this is from where Industry 4.0 is now moving to 5.0 because of the transformative changes which are coming both to hardware and also software because of AI and GPU chips which are happening. But what beyond that? What about sustainability? What about humans and robots working together? What about the changes happening at the workplaces, how this whole area of connectivity or decision science or intelligence are converging, and is it augmenting the human workforce or how it is going to happen? What about cybersecurity? That is where our convergence of this panel discussion will happen. Uh, Let us start uh, with introduction of all the panelists among their own words. So I will request this senior most panel member here, Mr. Ghosh, to start with him.
Good afternoon, and it's honor to be actually present here. Also, after a long time, I'm coming to an academic environment. So, some things were said in my introduction, but basically, an engineer, and then I joined Maruti. And when I joined Maruti, as I see the audience, many were not born. So I spent about 22 years in Maruti, and most of it was in IT. Although I started my career in setting up production facilities, so I had a reasonable understanding of how manufacturing works in terms of real hand, and then I moved to IT, and that's how I have continued. Then I moved to Reliance Retail for a short while, and then a significant amount of time with Mahindra Group. Having been in the Mahindra Group, of course, I had not just the automotive sector, but farm equipment sector, Mahindra Financial Services, and the hospitality sector, real estate, which is known as Mahindra Life Spaces, and all of these Mahindra being a conglomerate. So I had opportunity to work in different areas, and of course, manufacturing was always a challenge. It's again an honor to be present on such occasion. I have attended two previous sessions on two previous occasions here last year and in 2015. I'm really fortunate to attend this and such a great company of people from different industries. I joined police service in 2006, and almost 20 years I have completed fishing in different capacities. What I have seen is that there are many issues which, of course, there are many watchdogs, media, and there are commissions and courts to actually supervise the policing. But there are very interesting facets which are there in the constitution and in the government rules, but not known to many people. For example, there are three lists in the seventh schedule of the constitution. One is the union list on which the central government can legislate, the central parliament, and then there are items in the state list as well. Now on the state list, the center cannot legislate. So there are state laws on that, and the state legislatures can only have their own acts. And there are concurrent. Now, the function of policing is such that policing and law and order, these two subjects, can you guess in which list? Anybody? I am asking the students. Can anybody tell amongst these three lists, the union list, the state list, and the concurrent list, where do we find law and order and police? State list, very good. And interestingly, internal security is another component which comes under the union. So there is a very interesting overlap also, and police has to basically work within this juncture to also maintain internal security as well as the law and order and crime detection and prevention. In the state, the police officers have basically three major duties. One is, of course, maintenance of the law and order. The second one is prevention and detection of crime. The third one, which have changed across the timeline. Earlier, it used to be only use of force by police. Now it is mostly the service delivery. For example, you join a government job, there has to be some verification. So that verification is done by the intelligence organizations of the state. You join a private company, they will need a police clearance certificate. That is also given by the police. So these are basically the services, the passport verification and everything. So these are the services provided by the police. And on all these three fronts, technological changes have a very, very high impact. For example, in passport verification, the majority of the front-end job of collecting the information, getting the basic documentation verified, and communicating across the agencies for different aspects, it is the TCS, even from private sector, is doing the job for Ministry of External Affairs. At the back end, the police verification is done by the state police agencies, and there is a lot of technological changes. For example, in Kolkata, we have already digitized the entire process. If the term permits, I will later discuss about the process, how we are doing that. But then technological changes, including the advent of AI and data science and all these aspects, they are helping us to do everyday policing with all.
So from running some of the most advanced technology platforms for from passport, I don't know how many of the rest we run, but some of the biggest brands that represent India, not only the Taj but the Tata Group, the Tata Sons. So we have somebody who's been in the forefront of innovation with one of the most elite institutions of India, and he's the chief scientist of that unit, innovation unit of TCS and IIT. We have Chirabrata, who will explain his journey to you and what can we expect from him in this panel.
Hi, good afternoon all. So most of you are students, so this is actually Industry 5.0 is a great thing to have in our life for you students. Basically, I don't know how many of you know about this journey from Industry 1.0 to 2. Industry 1.0 is, you see in old Hindi movies, coal, steam engine, that Aradhana song, those are like Industry 1.0. Then came Industry 2.0, that is your locomotive engine, electrically powered. 3.0, like, I'm not sure how many of have you actually gone to a shop floor. In shop floors, there's something called PLC, Programmable Logic Control. Like if you go to, you are using metro rails and every day, like they are like in old time it was all relays and now it is all PLC. That is Industry 3.0. Then what Mr. Ghosh has observed, like told us already, from 90s, it was Industry 4.0, IoT, everything connected. But actually now it's time for Industry 5.0. So here, I think already Prasenjit has talked about. It's not like anybody replacing anybody. All are going to stay, but the domain has changed. The technology has changed, and you as a student actually should embrace this. So this is a very what you call interesting time to be at this juncture. Learn technology, learn AI technologies. It's not like AI is taking decision. What Prasenjit just told. It's like there is a paradigm shift actually. Like what you call like industry 5.0 when AI means it's augmenting. When you are like today when you are seeing only with your camera on a pipe, what you are seeing, you are just seeing a pipe. You don't know whether it is carrying oil, water, what pressure. But when AI is coming now with your sensors and AI augmenting, now basically you can see like you guys play video games a lot. So you can say like real life you are getting those tags, meta tags. So when you are seeing in a pipe taking water, you will be able to see what is my flow condition in a real time. It may be a gadget, it may be a Google Glass kind of thing, it may be a many of you may be knowing about Meta Glass. So this is the kind of thing like your whole thing. You will not only see actually like. It's actually what you can say. You are not seeing video now, you are seeing data. So the paradigm shift is you are seeing data. So and now you have to, whenever it's data, that means now you have to gain knowledge from it. Data as well is just a 1 0. If you see the film Matrix, the 1 zeros are falling. But then actually what you get meaning out of that data. So that is industry 5.0. So AI is going to augment. So industry 5.0 like with AI, there will be a paradigm shift in the shop floor, which is still if you go to a Tata Steel factory or those automotive companies Mr. Ghosh was talking about, like they have some machines which are there for 100 years. So, but how now? Those are the challenges. Like I'm going to talk later. How we have to bring them into this paradigm to take help out of Industry 5.0, and you guys are the will be the actually the hands and legs for this. There are a lot of codings to be done. People will be required. The AI cannot code on its own. It can do POCs. Don't worry. So there's an interesting time is coming in Industry 5.0. That's it.
Thank you, Chirabrata. So now that the stage is set, let us dive down a little further. So I'll go to Mr. Ghosh.
Gaps came when you do automation. We are alienating the entire labor workforce, and in India, that's a very major component of any industry or manufacturing industry that one need to look at. Similarly, going and in all this process, we try to make, if we talk about supply chain, absolutely hyper optimized, and I spoke about that. It made things less resilient. So, personally speaking, I saw those kind of things that is not enough that Industry 4.0 was delivering. We needed, you know, human and machines to work together as opposed to. So that's where things like cobot have come in. Sustainability is no longer secondary. Sustainability is a very primary objective in Industry 5.0. And one of the, before lunch, one keynote address was there, and it was spoken about 4 P's, people, process, profit, and planet. Right? Industry 4.0 doesn't address all of these. It addresses profit, but it addresses process. But people and planet are two very major, objectives that are required in any business context. And I think Industry 5.0 kind of steps in that direction. So that's where Industry 5.0 comes into the picture, and probably it will serve uh, not just the global industry or not very often talk about outside India, but definitely it will be very good for Indian manufacturing industry.
So we'll hold on to that point because the paradigm shift is now coming, and as we say, the wave is cresting. But before that, I'll go to Mr. Day. And in law enforcement, you have to take very immediate decisions, and which have consequences, obviously. So, what does smart connectivity for smarter decision mean to you? I mean, you gave some examples that you're doing from a user-centric perspective, but for the deep policing.
Yeah. On one hand, actually, police has to serve the citizens, and on the other hand, it has to deter the criminals. So on both these sides, smarter connectivity always helps better decisions.
But now I'll go to our scientist in the group and ask him about the shift that is happening, which everybody spoke about. And I want to combine another question with you that during the shift which is happening, what do you think will foundationally change and what do you think foundationally will not change? And are you doing certain level of work in your present organization which sees the future which we can't still yet, but which you think is going to come in? From your research standpoint.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm going to talk about like mainly from the technology point of view. The others are human social angles and other people, other panelists are better to handle that. So, so from technology point of view, what is required Industry 5.0 and to be like what we call to be nimble, to be adaptable. What you require is large scale softwareization of it, and that is what in TCS research, Industry 5.0 research going on in manufacturing is how can we softerize the whole thing. See, once it becomes software, it's just a code change.
One issue that will have to be, kind of resolved. Probably private 5G network kind of a thing will happen, but that's also will come at a cost. But that is still, technical issue and solvable. The other issues are like, one issue that I see is training, because lot of very differently skilled people would be required by the manufacturing industry. Okay, and also the culture, and we are talking about smart decisions, right? If you look at Indian manufacturing industry, what I have seen fairly up close is, lot of manufacturing environment are very opaque. Even within the organization, lot of information doesn't flow because they know, next week I'll solve it. This is not something that is going to be, looked and things like that. So a lot of challenges remain there and doesn't go. So this is basically, and in this kind of a situation, the decisions that are made are not using data or data driven. Overall, am I positive? Yes, I'm extremely positive. Is it going to be a pan India scenario that everybody will adopt Industry 5.0? No, it will not be. But many people will go, and those are the people who would be changing and making big waves in the coming 5, 7, 10 years.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. So I'll like jump into the next question. I had many questions for Mr. Dev, but paucity of time combining some of the questions. So, so you deal with a lot of this data as we spoke about, and how connected systems are helping.
One of the two things which have been like a legacy to the governance and administration as such, and in a sense that will help us to trade even during the AI era. One is that the police is one of the oldest organizations to use intelligence as an established branch, and probably business intelligence has been recognizing the importance much later, even though the term was there, but in industry it has come much later. And intelligence essentially is a component you have to use when your environment is not predictable. So in policing, what has happened is it had to always guess what is the criminal, what the criminal is going to do. No criminal is going to tell you that I am going to go there and commit burglary, and except of course the presidents today, they tell that I will bomb this country and do that. That's a different thing. But no criminal will tell you. So you have to find out traits, patterns, and fallouts, everything, and analyze to get your team ready for the next attempt, so that you can just catch the criminal. So police has been always using intelligence to do what it does. Now what has happened is the technology is helping police to predict it much better. So a lot of things have changed. The physical dacoity and robbery almost is gone, especially from metropolitan areas. It is no longer there. But then there are other type of crimes which are coming. So predicting that will become a very, very difficult thing, and unless the officers analyze those trends, no AI can help you to predict it much ahead of the criminals. Because they're using the almost the same things. We have got the ATM thieves. They're using technologies which we do not know. And we actually had, I actually attended one class by the ATM thief to know how you are transferring the money on the cryptocurrency, and then trading it beyond the horizons, because our laws do not permit us to go there. They have got a very good network.